ಗೂಗಲ್ ಇನ್ನೊಂದಿದೆ ಇದು ಸರ್ ಇದನ್ನ ಇದು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ನಿಮ್ದು ಇರ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಅವಾಗ ಇದನ್ನ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಸರ್ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ ಸರ್ ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ಕೇಬಲ್ ಒಂದು orientation session on national education policy with a focus on innovation and entrepreneurship, sir. Orientation session on national education policy on, sir, national education policy with focus on innovation and entrepreneurship. ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್. ಮ್ಯೂಟೆಡ್. ಓಕೆ, ಶೂರ್. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇದು ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿ ಸರ್, ಲೈವ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. ನಂದು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ ಮೈಕ್. ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಮನೆ ಸರ್. ದೊಡ್ಡ ಬನ್ನಿ ಸರ್, ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಲೈವ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್ ಬಿಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕಾಯ್ತು. ಆ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಕಳಿಸಿದೀನಿ ಅಲ್ಲ ಆಫಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್. ಹಾ, ರೈಟ್ ಸರ್. ಓಕೆ. ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ಲೈವ್ ಇದೆ ಸರ್.
Yes, yes.
Right, sir. Right, thank you.
Yes, yes.
YouTube ಬರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ
ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮುಂಜಾನೆ ಕರೆಸಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಮ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಕೊಡೋದು ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಮ್ ಒಂದಿಷ್ಟು ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಬೇಕಾಗ್ಯಾವ ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಸೆಮ್ ಫಿಫ್ತ್ ಸೆಮ್ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಸೆಮ್ ಫಿಫ್ತ್ ಸೆಮ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇದಿನ್ನ ಮಾದಿನ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಈಗ ಅರ್ಜೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಈಗ ಅರ್ಜೆಂಟ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಮ್ ಓದೋದಷ್ಟು ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು, ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಮೇನ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಮ್ ಹುಡುಗರಿಗೆ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಅದು ಸ್ಕಾಲರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗತೈತಿ. ಮುಂಜಾನೆ ಕರೆಸಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದ, ಕರೆಸಿ ಹೇಳಿ ಇವತ್ತು ನಾಳೆ ಸೋಮವಾರ ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರಾಗ ಒಟ್ಟು ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಸಿಗ್ತಾವ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಐದನೇ ಸೆಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಇನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅನಿಸ್ತದೆ, ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ಹೇಳಿವಿ. ಬಟ್ ಮೊದಲು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಮ್ ಪ್ರಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಈಗ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಮ್ ಅದು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿ ಅದು ಬಂತು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಮ್ ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ಲಿ
ಗೂಗಲ್
ಮೊದಲು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ರೆಡಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಜನರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್. ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಫಿಫ್ತ್ ಸೆಮ್ ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ.
Official view is official view. Participants, we will start the session shortly. Just wait for a while. Sir, official
Good afternoon, sir. What is it?
Yeah, good afternoon, Harpreet sir. Good afternoon. We'll start.
Sir, is there any strength limitation?
No limitation, sir. If the strength exceeds 100, then they can join using the YouTube live, sir. You are streaming. You are streaming in YouTube as well.
Yes, sir. Yeah, both the links are shared.
Yes,
Okay,
sir. Yes.
Okay. Yes, guys. Thank you. Sir. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Start, sir. ಆಮೇಲೆ Good afternoon to all. Warm greetings from Institutions Innovation Council. At the outset, I wholeheartedly welcome today's resource person, a dynamic personality, an inspiration for a number of activities, our beloved principal sir, Sri G.B. Gansetti sir, to this online session of orientation session on national education policy with a focus on innovation and entrepreneurship. I also welcome the HODs of different departments as well as staff members of different departments of our BVS Polytechnic. And I also welcome the members of the IIC as well as the students of BVS Polytechnic. So now I request today's resource person, our beloved principal sir, to take over the session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, sir. Good
evening to all. Our institution is IIC coordinator, officer, and MBA coordinator, sir, and examination control officer, and all the heads of the department, and all the faculty members, and all my BS students. So today, at this juncture, I would like to talk something about orientation session on National Education Policy 2020. We focus on innovation and entrepreneurship. So how this National Education Policy that is NEP 2020 is focused on innovation and entrepreneurship. So already you know about National Education Policy 2020, which have been already passed by the Parliament, and it is going to be implemented shortly this year, 2021 August. It will be implemented. So here there are two important factors: innovation and entrepreneurship. So innovation, which is nothing but it is an important tool for entrepreneurship. So there is no entrepreneurship without innovation. So innovation is a seed for entrepreneurship or for any organization. If the organization has to grow or audible to you also? Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible, sir. But for the YouTube, the link is given to this laptop, sir. This is to be there for the YouTube, sir.
Innovation is a mandatory for all organizations. To sustain, to exist, or to excel in the competitive environment, there should be a continuous innovation in the organization. That is why, to be an entrepreneur, you should have a innovation mindset.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. Shall we use this laptop for that YouTube streaming, sir? such that like limit is already exceeded, so they can view using the YouTube as well if we use this one, because we set the PCA using because the limit has exceeded, sir. You can take it. Yes, sir. By Smith. Okay, okay. Sure. बताएगा वॉइस सर Sir, am I visible and audible to you all?
Sir, voice is little low. Still low.
ಇದೇನೋ ಇದೆ ಓಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್
Sir, you are not visible.
Just a minute now.
No, sir, you are not visible. Camera is not focusing.
Yeah, now it's okay.
ಅದೇನೋ ಇದಾಗ್ತದೆ ಹಾಂ ಓಕೆ ಸರ್ am I visible to you all?
Sir, adjust your camera.
ಹಾಂ
Adjust the camera.
visible?
Visible?
Sir, camera adjust.
Visible sir?
Visible, sir?
Yes, sir.
Am I visible or not? Hello?
Sir, says 50% restrict content ಇದೆ sir. Camera ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ
Okay, sir, now it's okay.
ಹಾಂ is it visible?
Okay, sir.
Huh?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir, now.
That is okay?
That's okay?
okay, sir. Now it's okay, sir. It's clear.
Huh? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. It's okay.
Can I go ahead?
Go ahead. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good evening to all. So, it gives me a great pleasure.
Good morning, sir.
So, all participants are requested to meet there. So, okay. Okay. So, new note ಮಾಡಿ.
ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರು ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು
Participants all are muted.
ಹೌದ್ರಿ
ಸರ್ ನಿಮ್ದೊಂದೇನೋ ಆನ್
ಸರ್ ನಿಮ್ದು ಆನ್ ಇದೆ
ಚಾರ್ಜಿಟ್ ಅಂತ ಯಾವ್ದೋ ಆನ್ ಇದೆ ಸರ್
ನಿಮ್ದು ಆನ್
ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನ್ ಮಾಟೂರು
ಹಾ,
ಆನ್ ಇದೆ
ಹಾ ಬಂದ್ ಮಾಡಿ Yes. Okay, okay. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆಪಾತ ಸರ್ ನೀವು ವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇದನ್ನ ಅದನ್ನು yes. Okay.
Now, sir, now clear, sir.
Now clear.
Now clear,
Yes.
sir.
Yes.
Add on it to you.
I am visible to you all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Clearly.
visible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So now the time have been exceeded. Because of that, we are using YouTube, and after that, anybody can observe through YouTube. So again, I'm very sorry for the disturbance in between. I would like to talk something on orientation session on national education policy, especially focusing on innovation and entrepreneurship. Already I have told you, innovation is a seed for entrepreneurs and it is a important tool for entrepreneurs. Without innovation, the organizations cannot succeed or cannot excel. So here, the national education policy, which have been developed or which is being implemented right now, is focusing more on education, skill, and attitude as well as entrepreneurship. So this National Education Policy 2020 is a very dynamic and it is a very proactive and it is having a very good vision of the country. First of all, I would like to talk about what is innovation. Innovation is nothing but is creating new value or creating value in a new way. So it's not a new thing. If you don't want to find out new things, if you find out new things, it will be invention. So there's a difference between invention and innovation. So usually innovation is being practiced every day by all people, knowingly or unknowingly. So that is why innovation is nothing but it is creating new value or creating value in new way. And sometimes innovation is an action. What is the innovation? Is an action or process required to create new ideas, processes, or products, which, when implemented, lead to positive, effective change. So if you design a new things or any process or it may be any action or any idea, after implementation, if its impact is very positive or if it gives a positive change, then that will be called as a innovative action. There is innovative things. Ideally, the innovation builds a new market. Today, if you take a business world, every day the businesses are sometimes they are growing up or coming down. There will be a lot of fluctuation in the business. So this is because of there's a lot of a competition. So that's why today the organizations or institutions or where they are staying means the society where the organizations or technical institutions or industries are staying or existing is very complex and very competitive and very dynamic and very vibrant and at the same time turbulent. So we cannot judge the decision and proper decision because competition is more, and at the same time the society is very dynamic and very vibrant and very turbulent. So the decision sometimes it may leads wrong to you to reach a wrong destiny. So that is why if you innovate properly, if you are having a innovation culture, definitely your vision will be reached very easily. So here an innovation is an idea that has been transformed into practical reality. So you're having one idea. If you convert that into practical reality, then that will be called as a innovation. So innovation is a specific tool of an entrepreneur by which the entrepreneur can exploit change as an opportunity for different business or different services. The concept of innovation and entrepreneurship are interrelated.
If there is no innovation, no entrepreneurship. And if there is no entrepreneurship, there is no scope for innovation. So that's why Peter Drucker in 1985 argued that innovation should be viewed as an economic or social phenomena rather than technological term. So usually the innovation is related to economic or social development of the country rather than technological innovation. And here I have told you already, the society where we are living is very complex and competitive. In such a situation, for existence and excel of an organization, innovation is an essential tool. So that is why for entrepreneur, innovation is an important tool. Without innovation, there is no entrepreneurship. There is no entrepreneur. So that is why innovation is very much important. And especially my topic is, that is National Education Policy 2020 with focus on innovation and entrepreneurship. I have given some information regarding innovation and entrepreneurship. You know already. So entrepreneurship is a process which converts ideas into cash. If you're having any idea, so if you convert that into cash, you will become an entrepreneur. So that is why to be an entrepreneur, you should have a good ideas. And how the ideas comes and how the creativity will develop, how the innovation is happened. So for innovation, a creativity is a seed. Seed is a creativity for innovation. If there is no creativity or creativity culture in the organization or in the house, and if the person doesn't have a creativity mindset, he will not innovate nothing. He will not innovate anything. So to innovate something, he should have a creativity mentality. So that is why in New Education Policy 2020, it always focuses on creativity and innovation. If you go through the policy document, which have been already announced, so there will be a more focus on creativity and innovation and entrepreneurship. But right now, you may not see any entrepreneurship or innovation in the policy guideline. But if you go through the each and every step of a policy, all steps or all concept is mainly focused on innovation and entrepreneurship. So that is why the vision of National Education Policy 2020, it envisions. What is the vision? It envisions an India-centered education system that contributes directly for transforming our nation sustainably into equitable and vibrant knowledge society by providing high quality education to all. By means, our India will become a super knowledge power in the globe. So the main purpose of our National Education Policy 2020 is... Hello? Hello? Mic off, Mari, mic off. So here, the vision of National Education Policy 2020, it is having important 5 components. The first one is, the policy should focus on India. So the policy should be India-centered. It envisions an India-centered education system. The system which is going to be developed should focus on India, not on other countries. So it's an India-centered education system, and it should contribute directly for transforming our nation sustainably into equitable and vibrant knowledge society. So there should be equal opportunities for all, and each and everybody in the country should have a good education, high quality education that is equitable, and the knowledge should be very vibrant. Knowledge should not be kept in library or should not be kept in the minds of the people. The knowledge always should be utilized for the development of the nation as well as development of the individual or development of the family. So that is why the knowledge should be vibrant. So by providing high quality education to all. So here the policy should explain, the policy should focus on providing a high quality education to all. Each and everybody should have a high quality education in future. And this is the main vision of National Education Policy 2020. And by doing these things, our country will become a global super knowledge power. By the another 15 years, after 15 years, our country should be a global knowledge power, superpower. We should rule the country, we should rule the world by our knowledge. So that is why here you may ask, sir, how this policy focuses on innovation and entrepreneurship. Look here, this National Education Policy 2020, it mainly consists of 22 important principles. The policy itself consists of 22 principles. So I'll go through one by one. That is, the first principle is recognizing, identifying, and fostering the unique capabilities of each student by sensitizing teachers as well as parents to promote each student's holistic development in both academic and non-academic space. Here, recognizing, identifying, and fostering the unique capabilities of the student. The policy is focusing on, in future education, the teachers and parents should focus more on recognizing, identifying, and fostering the unique capabilities. We have to provide a facility for all students to recognize them, to identify them, and to foster his unique capabilities to bring out. So it is a mandatory in the policy. So that is why to happen all those things, there should be a creativity and innovation. So that is why in policy there will be more focus on innovation and creativity and entrepreneurship. And second principle is according the highest priority to achieving a fundamental, that is foundational literacy and numeracy by all students by grade 3. So by the end of third standard, by the age of 8 or 9, all students who are admitting to the schools in India should achieve a foundational literacy and numeracy. That is the mandatory in the policy. And third one is a flexibility. The policy is having a very flexibility process. That flexibility is so that learners have the ability to show or to choose their learning trajectories and programs and thereby choose their own paths in life according to their talents and interests. And fourth one is no hard separation between all science, between curricular and extracurricular activities, between vocational and academic streams, etc., in order to eliminate harmful hierarchies among and silos between different areas of learning. So a lot of separation, no hard separation is there. And the next one is multidisciplinary and holistic education across science, social science, arts, humanities, and sports for multidisciplinary world in order to ensure the unity and integrity of all knowledge. So this National Education Policy 2020 mainly focuses on multidisciplinary. So anybody can become an entrepreneur. So only technician or a technical student or any other management student may become entrepreneur, not like that. So any person who is interested and who is having the orientation towards becoming an entrepreneur, he can become an entrepreneur. So he can learn any stream or any subject according to his will and wish. So that the multidisciplinary facility is there in the National Education Policy 2020. And next one is emphasis on conceptual understanding rather than rote learning and learning for exams. Today, what is being happened? The students are learning for exams, and rote learning is there. So now, this National Education Policy 2020 has given a more emphasis on conceptual understanding. So the concept has to be understood properly by the students. So teaching learning process has to be changed. And the very important thing, which is more related to this innovation and entrepreneurship, is creativity and critical thinking to encourage logical decision making and innovation. There's a more focus on this in the curriculum. Next one is ethics and human constitutional values like empathy, respect for others, cleanliness, courtesy, democratic spirit, spirit of service, respect for public property, scientific temper, liberty, responsibility, and pluralism, equality, and justice. So for this, there is a more focus on in NEP 2020. Next one is promoting multilingualism and power of language in teaching and learning. So teaching and learning can be happened in any language, local language, not in English, not in Hindi, not in Kannada. As per their requirement in each state, they can adopt any language according to their will English. And next one is life skills such as communication, cooperation, teamwork, and resilience. Next one is focus on regular formative assessment for learning rather than summative assessment that encourages today's coaching culture. So the coaching culture will be reduced. Only a formative assessment instead of summative assessment. Each and every day or each and every session will be tested by the teacher whether that student have understood properly or not. So here the criterion reference tests are being used more rather than a norms reference test. So each and everybody should know each and everything in the subject. So no percentage of marks, 90%, 80% like that. Only mastery. If we get a mastery, you will get passed. Like that, the assessment will be happened in National Education Policy 2020. And after that, extensive use of technology. So this National Education Policy 2020 will facilitate the extensive use of technology in teaching and learning, removing language barriers, increasing access for Divyang students also, and educational planning and management. Next one is respect for diversity and respect for local context in all curriculum, pedagogy, and policy, always keeping in mind that education is a concurrent subject. So next is full equity and inclusion as the cornerstone of educational decisions to ensure that all students are able to thrive in education system. Equity and inclusion. Here it means even a student from very poor family or a poor background or social culture, socially weaker section should get a very high-end education or top-end education, top quality provision is there in the National Education Policy 2020. And synergy in curriculum across all levels of education, from early childhood care and education to school education to higher education. So there will be synergy in all curriculums. And next one is teachers and faculty as the heart of learning process. Here, the National Education Policy 2020 mainly more focuses on teachers and faculty as the heart of the learning process. More importance have been given to the teachers as well as the teaching learning process rather than infrastructure. There, and the recruitment will be very scientific. The recruitment and continuous personal development and the positive working environment and service conditions will be provided. Here, the policy looks like very tight, but very light, but very tight. Light but tight regulatory framework will be there to ensure integrity, transparency, and resource efficiency of the educational system through audit and public disclosure while encouraging innovation and out of the box ideas through autonomy, good governance, and empowerment. Here in this policy, the institutions will get more autonomy in future. Each and every institution will decide its curriculum and will conduct the examinations and evaluate the students and announce the result, and it will certify the students. I think in future the university system and central system may be vanished. Only autonomy. Where there is autonomy, there will be more creativity. Where there is a creativity, there will be innovation. Where there will be innovation, there will be entrepreneurship. So that is why, to make our students to be an entrepreneur or to be a job giver rather than job seeker, we have to provide more autonomy to the higher education institutions. That is why in 2000, in National Education Policy 2020, more autonomy or autonomy will be given to the institutions to to show their creativity, innovation, and entrepreneurship. So that provision is there in the policy. And outstanding research as a uh, core quisite for outstanding education and development, and continuous review of progress based on sustained research and regular assessment by educational experts. So there will be a continuous review of the system, review of the policy, whether it is moving towards vision or not. And next one is, it is a policy is rooted, and it is a rootedness and pride in India, and it's rich, diverse, ancient and modern culture and knowledge system and traditions. Here the policy focuses more on its rich, diverse, ancient and modern culture and knowledge system and traditions. And next one is, education is a public service. Access to quality education must be considered a basic right of every child. And last one is, substantial investment in a strong, vibrant public education system, as well as the encouragement and facilitation of true philanthropic private and community participation. The policy encourages philanthropic private and community participation in future. Now the education is restricting the private participation more, but in future the new policy is encouraging for more of our private participation. So like that, the new education policy is always enabling, or is giving a facility, is facilitating the students to become a very good entrepreneur in future, and it always helps them to become a more creative and innovative. So that is why the creativity, innovation, and entrepreneurship will be the leading factor for the country to be glory. So that is why the National Education Policy 2020 is a very excellent policy, which is mainly facilitating innovation and creativity and entrepreneurship. So like that, I have told you already, the education system today, what is being happened, it is not more focusing on entrepreneurship. Only the last resort, the students will go for entrepreneurship. The high percentage students will always go for a job, or he want a class 1 job or a very comfortable job, and for decision making job he'll be going. But in a new education policy, the really intelligent student will come towards entrepreneurship education. So entrepreneurship education is not a separate education system in new policy. There is no separate policy for innovation and entrepreneurship. So each and every education system, each and every stage of education system embedded with innovation and entrepreneurship. From class first to class until PhD, each and every education system have been embedded with innovation and entrepreneurship. So there is no separation from this policy guideline. There is no separate guideline for innovation and entrepreneurship. If you go through the policy document, you will come to know whole policy itself is supporting innovation and entrepreneurship. So in future, we want to create a more number of entrepreneurs and more number of skilled manpower in country. Then only we can grow. So without skill development, without skill education, without entrepreneurship, country will not become a rich and country will not go forward in economic area. So to become economically sound, each and every country should have a good entrepreneurs and good innovation culture in the country. And as you know already, the policy is focusing more on that is India centered. That is the system, education system rooted in Indian ethos. So that is especially the moral characters. We should not forget the moral characters of our India, because the moral characters mainly our ethos or our ethics, our Indian culture is mainly supporting the human values. The human values just that is important values are, that is truth, honesty, loyalty, love and peace. So these are the important human values which the Indian people are practicing today. So these will help India to become a global knowledge power. And if you develop these 5 human values in the students, definitely our student will lead the world. So like that, as you know already, our ancient education system was actually it was to get a complete realization and liberation of self. Actually, the education system in the olden days, ancient education system was more focusing on to realize a person on his own, and he want to become a liberal. He want to become a tension free. So that was the main education of ancient education system, main focus, main vision. But now it is also it is also entering into the new education policy. So with this, I will conclude the speech. At the end, I can tell. So innovation is a mandatory, and if you want to sustain, even an individual, if you want to grow, if you want to sustain, if you want to live livelihood properly, you should have a innovation every day. So innovation is a mandatory, and with the innovation, we can create entrepreneurship, and entrepreneurship will give it will create economic wealth or wealth for the country, wealth for the family. With this, I again once again once again I appeal to all students. You try to become a great entrepreneur. Education policy providing a lot of opportunities to you all to become a great entrepreneur. So that is why you just try to become an entrepreneur. So with this, I conclude my speech. Thank you, Anand.
Am I audible, sir? Yes, sir.
Yes. Am I audible, sir, now? Government, sir? Am I audible? Yeah. Now, am I audible, sir? Yeah. Now, Dormani, sir, am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Really, it was a great session. Sir has enriched all of us with the rich knowledge and the experience. Sir clearly mentioned about the difference between the innovation and the invention. And Sir clearly said that if there is no invention, then there is no entrepreneurship, and there is no economical growth as well. Sir also highlighted on the vision of the national education policy. So now I request Sri Sanmesh Dodmani sir, the HOD of Electrical Engineering Department, to give the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Walter sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, yes sir, yes sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon to all. Well, it was a very nice webinar by our beloved principal, Sri G. V. Shetty sir, on the topic orientation session on national education policy with a focus on innovation and entrepreneurship. Yeah, it's my duty to extend vote of thanks to our beloved principal, Sri G. V. Shetty sir, on behalf of the Institute's Innovation Council and on behalf of all the heads of the departments and all the faculty members who have joined this webinar, and also on the behalf of all the students of our Polytechnic. Sir, we are very much thankful for the wonderful information that you have shared with all of us, and this has ignited the minds of the young minds of our Polytechnic, so that what innovation is and what is the national education policy is all about with respect to innovation, with respect to entrepreneurship, with respect to skill development and all this, sir. Thank you very much, sir. And I also thank our Institute's Innovation Cell President Sri M.S. Mathur sir, who has really taken all the pains to arrange this particular webinar on such an important topic for the benefit of all the students and the faculty members of our Polytechnic. I thank you very much, Mr. Mathur sir, for this endeavor. I also thank all the head of the departments and all the faculty members and all the students who have joined this webinar and got benefited from this webinar subject. Hope that this will be igniting our young minds, and this is the right time for the students to take up this innovation idea, and in the days to come they have to decide their project work for the 5th semester, and probably this will give you some input and some insights to all our students. So therefore I thank one and all for this for joining for this webinar and making it a very grand success. Thank you one and all.
Okay, sir. Thank you one and all. So now I end up this meeting. ಸರಿ ಸರ್ ಹೋಗಿತ್ತು ಸರ್, ಅದು ಬಹುಶಃ ಲೈವ್ ಹೋಗಿದೆ ಸರ್, ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ನೋಡ್ತೀನಿ ಸರ್, ಇದು ಎಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ ಬಹುಶಃ ಹಂಗೆ ಇದೆ ಸರ್, ಲೈವ್ ಇತ್ತು ಅದು ಮೋರ್ ದೆನ್ 100 ಇದ್ದದ್ದು ಗಂಟೆಗೆ, ಅದು ಅಬೋವ್ 100 ಆಯ್ತು ಸರ್ ಅವಾಗ ನೀವು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ. ಸೊ ಅದು ನಾವು ಯಾವುದು ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಅದ್ರ ಥ್ರೂ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತಿತ್ತು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಬೋವ್ 100 ಆಯ್ತು ಸರ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಸರ್ ನಿಮ್ದು. ಸೊ ಇದ್ರೊಳಗಡೆ ಅದು ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬದ್ದು ಸೆಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಸರ್, ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ವಿ ರಿಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ದಟ್. ಬಟ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿತ್ತು ಸರ್, ಭಾಳ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿತ್ತು ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್, ಚಲೋ ನೋಡು. ಇವ್ರಂತೂ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ ಸರ್, ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ದಾಗೂ ನೋಡೋಣ ಸರ್, ನೋಡ್ತೀನಿ ಸರ್. ಇದು ಚಾಟ್ ರೀ, ಲೈವ್ ಇತ್ತು. Your stream will stop immediately and you will no longer be there.